Good morning, everybody. Well, it's Gracie Cat and me. We're sitting here this morning thinking about global food supplies. Yeah, yesterday I did a video about lithium tools, and well, I didn't get beat as severely as I expected to, actually. I had quite a few people agreeing with the idea that maybe one somewhat negative comment in the sense that they're letting me know that lithium is not going to be the solution. It's not green. Well, it isn't. Everything is extraction here on this planet. Everything is extraction, and even your organic gardening is extraction, and is robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're moving the chicken manure from the chicken farm over to your garden, and it should have been on the chicken farm, and you're taking the wood chips from this guy over here. He should have spread it in his garden, but instead you put it on yours, and so on and so forth. You're relocating, you're extracting, just like a miner. Yes, but you're not extracting coal. You're extracting chicken crap, or something, seaweed or whatever, limestone. Yeah, it's all extraction, man. And so, don't get on your high horses about about all that. There are no perfect solutions to anything on this planet. There are no answers here, okay? There's just your best guess, folks. And when it comes to moving away from fossil fuel and carbon production into a zero carbon economy and environment, lithium will be an important tool. Yeah, we're going to have to dig it out of the ground. Yeah, we can recycle it, though. There are ways to recycle these batteries and things. They don't necessarily have to become some sort of a big waste. See, with petroleum and coal, you burn it. It's gone, except for the residue, which is the problem with our climate. Yeah, it's the residue left behind after you burn it. Lithium, well, you don't burn it. Although it will require some form of energy to charge it. Okay, so it's an unusual, a different situation, but it's a stepping stone, folks. There are no answers here. For 100 years plus, we have been living in a toxic soup of carbon-based chemicals of all sorts. I mean, whether it be the paints, the DDT, you name it, and the air pollution and whatnot. I mean, we used to put lead in the gasolines. Who's old? Raise your hand. Who in class here is old enough to remember leaded gas? Yeah. My garden is over here on the side of a county road. You can bet I can smell automobile exhaust through my bedroom window at night when the weather conditions are right from the people going down the street. You better believe I got lead sitting out here in my ground. Y'all do. And it's from that fuel we burned. Now, we don't talk about that very much, Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. But it's a stepping stone. Yeah, the idea of moving towards producing the energy with some kind of renewable resource like wind, like sun, like water power, helium-3. I'm for it. I don't care, but we got to get to the moon first. And I'm hearing that there might be some unfriendlies up there. They're everywhere. So it's a stepping stone. It will be one step away from the toxic mess we created during the 20th century on this planet. And it's not going to be the last step. It's not going to be the only step. As far as batteries are concerned, already on the drawing boards and in the laboratories, they already have better batteries than lithium. Yeah, we're already working with that. We'll end up with batteries that probably don't have to use as much extraction and most likely will charge and run a lot longer, okay, than the ones we currently have. But me, I don't know. When you have no solutions, you got no solutions. It's that simple. If you got a solution, even if it's not the perfect solution or it's not the full solution, on planet Earth, it's never the full solution. You can please some of the people and some of the lions, but it's never a full answer. What makes the jaguars happy makes the fish die, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, so this is about global food supply because it is directly connected to climate, which is, in my mind and many people's minds, directly connected to climate change due to burning fossil fuels. Yep. Yeah, it's a round planet. Everything goes around here. We went out to dinner last night with friends. Nice Japanese restaurant here in Hilo. I'd not been there. It was a first. It's the first trip to that particular restaurant. It generally rated, I think, 4 stars on Yelp. My food was pretty good. I haven't got any real complaints about it at all. I don't think I don't think it'll become my favorite restaurant, but it was fine. But one thing I noticed. Now, I had katsu donburi, and so there the rice is underneath in the bowl, and it's cooked in there, and you really can't see it. Although in the process of trying to eat it, I only got 50% of the way through the bowl, and it went to the doggy bag. It's in the fridge. I was full. But I looked at everybody else's plates at the table who'd ordered with rice, and man, they had a double scoop. Maybe, I'm not sure how this works, but here in Hawaii, I think a lot of us are used to that giant pile of rice on our plates. They really like to load it, although this was more than I had seen in the past. In the mainland, we never saw rice served anywhere to that extent that I can recall. You get a little rice at a Chinese restaurant or something, but not like this stuff. Yeah, it was huge. There was no one who was able to eat it. Okay, even Kahoa, who was working hard at it made his way over 2/3 of the way through that pile of rice. Of course, he's born here. He's been eating rice his whole life. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I know. Well, you want to go out there on YouTube and start studying news videos that are broadcast in English from various points on the planet. It's easy, of course, to find Australia, New Zealand, Canadian, and the United Kingdom news in English, so you can understand what they're talking about. But DW, the German channel, also has English versions. India and Pakistan do English news. There's a number of English-speaking news channels on the planet around the world. Now, we get our media, and, if people love to diss it, I personally don't know what the heck we would do without it. I'm media, too. Thank you. I am media, too. I'm not important media, but I am. And, without it, you don't disseminate information. Now, media can, go haywire. Fox was a good example, and they've gotten roundly sued for passing garbage through their channels, and so not everything you hear is true. Yeah, you have to use discretion. But when you take a sampling across the planet on one given day, take YouTube, go on out there and find every news channel that you can understand what they're saying on it, and take a look at the weather reports. It's hella scary. Okay? I don't get Libya news in English, but Libya is a mess. Dams broke, 2 of them, flooded out. It's too much rain. It's, North African deserty type climate. And there's the Lahaina fires. Now, that's here at home. They are definitely a canary in a coal mine. Because typically throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, Hawaii did have wildfire disasters. And it was on an average basis somewhere between 1 and 2 of these wildfires that would occur here in a given year throughout the 20th century. All right. So we're talking maybe 1 fire a year, 1.5 fires a year, something on that order that were, quite disastrous. Now, the Lahaina fire was particularly disastrous. It was landmark as far as how much destruction, how many people killed and so on. But the Lahaina fire is 6 fires in 1 year. This is 2023, and we are now getting 6 fires, and we haven't finished the year, and the fires are still burning. Mine is out, but there's others still smoldering out there. And last year was really not much better. We just didn't happen to have a whole town that went up in flames, but this island burned, Maui burned. There were fires all over the place, and the fires have been steadily increasing and increasing and increasing in how much things burn here. Well, you look around the rest of the planet. China's burst dams, whole town's gone. Europe has had its floods and its heat waves and its droughts. Let's just say, in short, the weather's nuts everywhere. You can't find a weather report anywhere on this planet that I can understand the language where it isn't a complete disaster. The worst that's ever... Yeah, it's like that. And it's not BS. We're really heading into something here. And see, climatologists generally speak of climate phenomena as having momentum. Okay, I refer to it as a flywheel effect, being an old gearhead. But that's basically what it is. You get something moving, and it doesn't want to stop moving, okay? And what we've started here with the CO2 buildup in our atmosphere is not something that we have any solution for immediately. We have no solution currently, all right? And any solution somebody might think up are hell is scary. I'm scared of some of the things that the science might do for us, like screening the atmosphere with soot so it doesn't heat up, or, you name it. There'd be all kind of crazy-ass things. Yeah, there's no way back out easy. At this point now, you can begin to do all the best things. I wouldn't want to say right. I don't know if there is such a thing, but there were much better ways we could have dealt with how we ran business in the last century and currently. And even if we now face the music and say, yeah, we were wrong. I guess we better get this straightened out. Well, it's not going to straighten out. It's called momentum. You got it started. It's not going to stop fast. Even if you do everything right, good, best way possible. Yeah, even if you do that, it's not going to stop right away. You will not see the results. Maybe your children will. Maybe their children. I don't know how long it will take to reverse things if everybody on the planet suddenly got together and said, hey, we've been pretty stupid for a while, haven't we? Gosh, I guess we better do something else. Yeah, it's been dumb. Yeah, Exxon's own scientists in the mid-1970s were telling them, look, you keep burning oil and fossil fuels on this planet the way we're burning it, you're going to be trouble with the weather. The climate's going to go haywire. Their own scientists. Okay, so you got the climate deniers. Well, I'm telling you, the guys that helped us mess the climate up, they already knew it. It's all about money. It's all about control. It's all about power. That's all a lot of people here are interested in. I guess they figure they only go around once in life. They may as well grab out for all the gusto they can get. Yeah, something on that order. No price to pay. They'll be gone before it happens. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been on a soapbox and pounding most of my life, drumming, as they say, about this, most of my life. Yeah, I told people I got sick of listening to me. They're still sick of listening to me. Yeah, it was a waste of my breath. We're still here. It still happened anyway. I don't even know why. Sometimes I bother to open my mouth. People who hold different ideas are considered odd and strange. My entire life. There has never been a time in this life where anybody ever came to Bill and said, "Bill, you're such a normal guy. What a regular person. You know, everything about you is average." No, it's always, "God, you're strange. Where do you get these ideas? You know, what? Don't think so deep." Yeah, they used to tell me I spend that much time thinking I'm up at a nut institution because you use your brain that hard thinking about things and it'll snap or something. I don't know. It's strange. But no, I tended to think my way through life in the best way possible. Can't always do everything I want, but I usually got what I needed as we're going along here. Well, last night I was looking at them piles of rice. I go, man, you know, I'll bet more than 75% of the rice that's laid on the plates in that restaurant yesterday went in the trash can. Any idea how important that's going to become soon? It's really going to become important. When the climate's as whacked as it is across the entire planet, you can't farm. Now, I'm over here in a strange little corner of the earth where, for whatever reason, Hawaii is blessed with a pool of cool water out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You know, look at the whole Pacific, man, and it is just hot everywhere. But not around Hawaii. There's one big sausage-shaped finger of cold water extending roughly along the 20th parallel out from Mexico and the eastern Pacific and coming this way, and it pretty much terminates the other side of the Hawaiian Islands, and water gets hot again. But we have this pocket of cold water out there, and it is keeping things here from going haywire. We haven't even had a hurricane this year. Yeah, we're getting past the midpoint of the season now. Things are beginning to wind down and nothing has happened. Why? Because every hurricane that came this way hit that bucket of cold water out there and turned and walked away. So all I'm saying is that I'm not directly seeing this right here. I'm insulated from it. The only way I can see it is in media, by looking at what's going on across the rest of the planet, not just here, and by food prices. You would measure it by food prices. Holy smoke. Anybody ever use, the internet like Yelp or something like that to take a look at the menu on a restaurant you're thinking about going to? Lately, that's become a real problem, hasn't it? That's right, man. I looked at the restaurant we went to last night. I found 4 versions of the menu online, depending on how old it was. And the same meal that cost $16 before COVID now costs $22. And it went up in increments, 17, 18, 20. Yeah. That much. Yeah, they're talking like 3 years time, roughly. The increase, huge increases at the restaurant. I was a little taken back by it. I don't like this much. I'm not big on inflation because a lot of it's arbitrary. It's a knee jerk. Gotta raise prices. Everything's going up. It's not necessarily intelligent or uniform. If you look around, you can sometimes find huge variations in prices on certain items from one place to another. Right now, anything that was made in Europe has a natural discount because of the euro. Anyhow, the rice, food. We're scraping that stuff off into the garbage can over here. And as long as the climate was as it had been for the last 200 years on planet Earth, that brought us to the point we're at today, highly sophisticated technological societies, blah, 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 huge population growth, massive food production, it was all because of mild weather. 200 years of real good weather. It's gone. And so food production will not be what it once was, and we're going to start to experience scarcities. Currently, for most Americans, they're irrelevant. Yeah, the scarcities. I mean, when was the last time you went out to try to buy a bottle of Sriracha? Okay, the Rooster brand, the classic form. The problems, you can't get people to pick the chilies, they haven't got the supply, and so there's no Sriracha. I've seen bottles of it on Amazon for as high as $36 a piece because people are bidding to get the last bottle. Yeah. So in some weird little corners like Sriracha, we're already starting to see food shortages. We're going to see more and more and more and more of it. The United States and Canada, chances are we're going to get through pretty well. I mean, it's going to affect us here too, and it definitely is going to affect us by pricing. But we do have the money, the economy. We're not poverty-stricken Sahara Africa. Okay, so we have the money to buy what we think we want or need, and if we can't grow it here because Nebraska got washed out in the flood, we'll probably pick it up from somewhere else on the planet where the weather was good that year, but we will be paying more for it because of scarcity. And so in the U.S., there's going to be some things that will kind of disappear, like Sriracha, but it's going to be price mostly. Of course, price, not everybody has expendable income, and so as prices get higher and higher on food, more and more people in lower income brackets go hungry. We live in a nation where socialism is considered evil, by most people at least. I think that we need to keep people fed. As if we don't keep people fed in this country and keep them adequately supplied with food, education, and other basic needs in society, social problems arise. Yeah. Hungry people steal. Yeah. Hungry people don't think straight. Hungry people are not productive. Yeah. Uneducated people steal. Uneducated people commit crimes. Educated people commit crimes too. Yeah, they do. That was dumb, huh? Yeah, right. Anyway, so the food. Yeah, there will be places on this planet where even distributing food currently can get to be a major problem because things are really wrecked. Okay, and not all governments are, acceptable to the kind of thing. It's a crazy, I can't even imagine this one, that we just got some prisoners back from Iran that they had over there. And in turn, I guess we released some of the money that had something to do with with Russian energy, I guess, somewhere in there. I don't know the whole story. But all I know is that the Iranians were stipulated that the money has to be used for humanitarian purposes and social welfare. Yeah, I can see him selling more drones to Russia for Ukraine. Controlling things here. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. We can't even get ourselves under control. Can't agree on anything. Everybody's fighting about mostly stupid stuff. Mostly stupid stuff that we fight over in this country. Stuff that doesn't even exist in a lot of cases. Election fraud, for instance, did not even exist in any degree whatsoever. Not enough to make a difference. Didn't matter. Wasted a lot of time on it, still wasting a lot of time on it, wasting a lot of money on it. We mess ourselves up with the stupidest things. We waste our time with stuff that doesn't really matter. There's a lot of things here that probably do really matter on Earth. But most of what we're concerned with as people, no. The only time it starts getting real is when you start getting towards the bottom. When you're on the underside of Maslow's pyramid and you can't even, find a place to get out of the rain and get enough to fill your belly, your needs are real. They're real. But for most of us in the U.S., we are not at that place. Most of us are not. So huge scoops of rice, and world hunger. I do suspect some of that's going to start coming to an end. Now, as the price of rice goes up, maybe we'll only get one scoop, and that'd be better, actually. It'd be an improvement. But, I don't know what happens. Most of the rice that we eat in the United States, and a lot of the rice that's eaten in Asia, the stuff you see on the shelves, the bags that look, like Japanese or Korean characters and names, that's all grown in California. Turn the bags over, look at it, all that Calrose, the sushi rice, most of it's all grown in California. Any rice that they raise in Japan very much stays in Japan. They covet their rice. It's the best in the world. But we're the major exporter of rice. I don't know if anybody grows more of it than we do. There's a little down in Texas, but there's arsenic in that rice. I wouldn't eat it. Louisiana produces a certain amount of rice. Same problem as Texas, arsenic in the soils. California has no news about the rice being contaminated that I've ever seen. I generally try to buy California rice myself, but it's all grown in the Delta. That's the drainage of the rivers, the Sacramento and the San Joaquin and such, into the San Francisco Bay Area. And so at the top of the bay up there, the bottom of the rivers, it's called the Delta. There's huge areas of swampy peat land that is used for raising many different specialized agricultural products. They raise sod in those areas. There is rotation on sod with asparagus and potatoes in that area, but most of the region is used for raising rice. Yeah. Raises most of America's rice, that's for darn sure, and part of the rest of the world. Now, so what happens if we actually do start to melt ice down, like on Greenland, or Antarctica in places, and we start to get fresh water pouring into the oceans, so the sea levels rise? What happens to the Delta? Well, in the past, at a time, that same geological structure out there, topographical structure, used to be an inland sea. Yeah, it was an inland sea. The ocean ran in. That's probably what will happen again if ocean levels rise. We will lose the Delta. If we lose the Delta, we lose California's rice. If we lose California's rice, then all we got is arsenic rice from Texas and Louisiana. They're going to be having the same problems on their land too, because rice is grown in floodplains. Well, I don't know. It's kind of negative. Thinking ahead, though, is usually what I tend to do best, is look at what I see now and try to extrapolate. Where might this be going? What could this lead us into? I guess it's the main reason that I live the way I do. That we have full solar. We produce our own food. It's organic. I drive EVs, etc., etc. I don't produce hardly any carbon here. It's because of scratching my head over the years about, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? I don't necessarily believe that the social norm is a good idea. Never been there. I guess it's because I never fit into the social norm. I was always the strange guy out. You got some strange ideas there, fella. You be careful with that. Really, they've been telling me that my whole life. I had a high school principal once told me that I was guaranteed to fail. There was no way I could succeed in life with the way I thought. Well, it was one of those guys that lived in little boxes. And they like it. And they got all walls around them so they can go, oh, that's the top, that's the bottom, there's the sides. I know what the world looks like. It's inside this box. Problem is, the box is an illusion. Has nothing to do with the nature of our reality. All it tells you is you've built a little psychological box around your world, and you feel yourself very comfortable inside of it. And that's generally what I'm faced with when I bring up any ideas that don't seem to match the social norm. Yet, over time, those strange ideas of Bill's, I watched them all play out, fruit, turn into something valuable, and, well, I suppose I'd be bragging a little bit, but I honestly feel that I got life a whole lot better than the rest of you do. Yeah. I have no debts. I'm not beholden to any energy companies whatsoever. I produce my own energy. If all the world's food stopped moving, I'd make my way around here. Yeah, we have enough sourcing for food, whether it's between, me or my neighbors and the local pigs and chickens running across here. We won't be doing any starving around here anytime soon. I might not have what I wanted for dinner, but I'll get something. Yeah, well, we do all right. We do all right. We do it with very low stress. I live in a great place with a wonderful climate, great scenery. I love the culture here in Hawaii, Hana culture and the aloha. It's a good thing. I'm in a good place. I'm very thankful for it, but partially I got here because of the way I thought about things. And partially I got here because I'm just a lucky guy. Hang loose, all. Yeah. Later. Aloha.